up to the apex of the bend. That's important. Coming through in white, Ronnie Corrie is tracking him. Going round the outside in yellow is Andy Smith picking up the grip, and that's an important move. Gary Stead's at the back, but a good ride by Screen in front, pursued by Andy Smith.
Well, they all got round the first corner, Tony, and the track seems to be riding quite well, but Joe Screen, he's made a perfect start there from the inside. I know that's a brand new bike he's riding. He's built that up over the last couple of days. He's had no time at all, but it seems to be working for him perfectly.
Well, Joe Screen with his best machinery already on the way to Sweden has a chance to look back now with 2 laps to go. Joe Screen in front of Andy Smith. Back in third is Ronnie Corrie for the Aces. It's level on points at the moment because tailed off at the back is Gary Stead of the Vikings. This at the moment something of a procession, but there's the leader. That's Joe Screen is extending that lead in front of Andy Smith with a lap to go. Remember, the yellow flag with the black cross goes out with a lap to go. There are 4 laps to each of these 15 heats. The 15th, of course, 6. But here is Andy Smith trying to put some pressure on Joe Screen, but he's not going to make it. And Joe Screen, the home captain, will pick up the cheers here as he wins in red ahead of in yellow Andy Smith. Third in white is Ronnie Corrie. That means a split of the points and starts the meeting level pegging. On the inside is Kai Laukkanen, the Finn. He rides, of course, for the visitors from Bellevue. Paul Thorpe from Hull goes from gate 2 in red. Chris Manchester from the visitors Bellevue goes from gate 3. And on the outside, it's Lee Dickin. Remember, the home side, that's Hull Vikings in the red and blue. The visitors from Bellevue in white and yellow and black. And those girls at the starting tapes picking up the same colours. Turning away there in blue, that is Lee Dickin. Knows the track. Right at the back of his hand, the 20-year-old. Born at Hull, just down the road from this Craven Park circuit. We move up then for heat number 2. Starting marshal pointing to the green light, which is some 30 metres in front of the tapes, and showing the visiting riders, moment showing Kai Laukkanen where that green light is. Quite important, that. Remember, level pegging after the first heat. It's 3-all after Joe Screen's heat victory. This known as the reserve seat. Paul Thorpe and Lee Dickin for the home club. Kai Laukkanen and Chris Manchester for Bellevue Aces. But we have problems down here with Laukkanen pulling away from tapes. And he clearly has a mechanical problem of some sort. He's going to get some attention at the pits. And I just wonder how long it'll be before our referee, Colin Reeve, puts him on 2 minutes, because I think the 2-minute warning is already on down there. We have a coloured light revolving, which shows that Colin Reeve has put Kai Laukkanen on 2 minutes. And of course, in this heat, Peter Collins, you can't have a reserve replacement.
That's right, there are no reserves to put in because these are the reserves. Now, he's gone back into the pits here. It looks as though he's got a problem that he's possibly going to be able to fix it, though, before he goes out. Looks like it's an adjustment on his cutout or his twist grip here that's the problem.
Well, he's got just under 1.5 minutes, according to our referee, to get on his way to tapes. The adjustment they made on the twist grip there, and on his way back to tapes comes Kai Laukkanen, and certainly the 24-year-old, born at Senojoski in Finland, joined Bellevue as a replacement, racing his first meeting a couple of weeks back. Right for Glasgow last season, Peter.
Yeah, you know, he was tightening his twist grip up there, and I mean, to be honest, to have a loose twist grip, that is very, very dangerous, and you know, to go out like that is a big mistake by somebody. I mean, that just should not happen.
Well, they're up at tapes now. The crowd in the background in the stand. We're up the back of that big stand, and certainly they've come along despite the weather here to this fabulous stadium at Craven Park, the home of the Hull Kingston Rovers Rugby Club, and also for greyhound racing. This is heat number 2. Laukkanen looks across, away they go. On the inside, picked up there by Paul Thorpe on the advice of Joe Screen. Coming through on the inside in white is Kai Laukkanen, putting him under pressure. Back in third is Lee Dickin, the second man for the Vikings. But picking it up well is Laukkanen. He's going fast and furious, and very early on, PC's got the best line.
Yeah, he's riding very, very well. I know he's ridden a few matches in a very short time for Bellevue, and I know he's had some very, very good scores down at reserve. And you know, this is just what my old club Bellevue need, is some good reserves at the bottom, because they struggled early on in the season, and I think this rider's going to put them right.
Well, excuse Peter Collins talking about his old club. He won the world title in 1976 when a Bellevue rider. He'd be supporting them from start to finish here tonight. But that man, Kai Laukkanen, is certainly showing quality, and he comes around that bend with just over a lap to go. He's opening up an even bigger gap ahead of Paul Thorpe for the Vikings. Back back in third place there in blue, Lee Dickin, and tailed off at the rear is the disappointing Chris Manchester. But the flying Finn, the 24-year-old, is going to take the checkered flag and produce the goods here for the visitors. A great start for Kai Laukkanen, ahead of in second place in red, Paul Thorpe. Third in blue was Lee Dickin. For the second successive heat, the points are shared. Morton. Next to him, Jimmy Nilsen in white for the visitors. In red for the Hull Vikings, that's Shane Parker. And the outside, Jason Hawkes for Bellevue. Remember again, the home team in the red and the blue helmet colours, the visitors in white and yellow and black. Got problems at the moment from Ray Morton going back towards the pits, but maybe just visor steaming up. And they're going to have that problem on a steamy night, Peter. Yeah,
it's the usual problem. A lot of mist in the air, damp atmosphere, and it just steams the goggles up. Just running through the air and letting the wind blow underneath the nose of your helmet. That clears them, and that's just exactly what he's done.
Well, back they are. They've cleared them. I can tell you it's humid. It's very, very sticky and a lot of dampness in the air. But the track is a tribute to the staff here because really it was in a dreadful condition 2 hours ago, and now we can even see proper speedway. This is heat number 3. Starting marshal walks away. Away they go, and struggling to keep it down is Jimmy Nilsen. Making it to the bend is Ray Morton. Going round the outside in red is the Australian Shane Parker. He's pursued by Jimmy Nilsen. Jimmy Nilsen put back into third place by the rider in blue, Ray Morton. It's now Hull Vikings 1 and 2, and the big crowd is making their presence felt to cheer their riders here in heat number 3, because this will put them into the lead with a 5-1 if it stays like this. And Shane Parker had a perfect first bend.
Yes, he meant business there from the start in the first corner. But Ray Morton there, all credit to him. He's riding very, very well, and they're both using wider lines now. They're riding out wider. The track's improving. Every lap they go around, the track's getting better, Tony.
Well, Shane Parker rides long track and grass track on the continent as well, and he can ride almost any conditions, and he's going to win this in some style. Just over a lap to go for the Australian from Adelaide. In second place, his teammate, the Londoner Ray Morton. Back in third in white, Jimmy Nilsen, the Grand Prix rider from Bellevue. And tail off at the rear is the Aussie Jason Hawkes, and lots of there is Jason Hawkes, the Aussie. He is struggling, but not that man out front. Shane Parker wins it in red, Ray Morton in blue. Third in white is Jimmy Nilsen. It's a 5-1 in favour of the home side, the Hull Vikings. They now lead by 11 points to 7. There's the view from Sam Ermolenko's onboard camera as he goes back around in front of the pits. But there's the lineup. Lee Dickin on the inside in blue. Chris Manchester in yellow goes from gate 2. That man Ermolenko, from whom we're going to get a fantastic view in a moment, goes from gate 3 in red. And Jason Lyons on the outside. Remember, Ermolenko and Lyons, their first race of the meeting. Lee Dickin has already had a third place. Chris Manchester thrown in last, first time out. In practice here, PC. Well, Sam Ermolenko, if you couldn't hear it on your sets at home, says they are going to ride as a team. That's Sam Ermolenko and Lee Dickin, and this should be interesting, the view we get from the camera here. There is Sam Ermolenko talking to the starting marshal. He goes, of course, from gate 3 in the red helmet colours for Hull Vikings. And that is Sam Ermolenko. In blue on the inside there is Lee Dickin. There's the view from Sam Ermolenko. And will we see a clear track, Peter, or will we see it behind them?
Well, here we go. He's missed the start, Sam. He's missed it, but he's in third place.
Well, we get a great view from Sam because, look, there he is following those two riders, but he's going to have to make inroads. Going through in front is Jason Lyons. The Aussie is quick out front. Now for Bellevue Aces. Back in second place is Lee Dickin, who's trying to help Sam Ermolenko forward. Ermolenko in red, tailed off at the rear is the outer form Chris Manchester, who looks down on power to me, but more on that later. But that's the view Sam Ermolenko has. You can see the mud coming up off this very wet track, and it's obviously mighty tough for Sam.
Yeah, well, you could see that mud there right on the lens, and you could see that's exactly what the riders have to put up with when they're going round when the mud's flying. But they have got dirt deflectors on the bike, but still, they still get mud on the lenses, and we can see that on the camera.
Out front then in white and going well is Jason Lyons. This will be a 3-all if it stays like this. Lee Dickin is back in second place for the Vikings, followed by Sam Ermolenko. Tailed off at the rear is Chris Manchester, but a great win for Jason Lyons in white. The second heat victory for the Bellevue Aces. In second place in blue is Lee Dickin. Sam Ermolenko back in third. He'll be disappointed with that. Andy Smith goes from the inside for Bellevue. Next to him is Shane Parker from Hull. Gate 3 is Ronnie Corrie from Bellevue, and on the outside, Ray Morton. Remember that Corrie and Smith attained a second and third place behind Joe Screen first time out, and there was a maximum heat victory for the pairing of Shane Parker and Ray Morton in their first outing. So, Peter Collins, this is going to be tough for Bellevue to pull it back here.
Yes, Tony, it is. Shane Parker rode very, very well in that first race. Shane's actually riding with a collarbone that he broke only 3 weeks ago. We seem to have so many riders right now with broken collarbones. He said he's still a little bit sore, but you wouldn't have believed it after he won that first race so convincingly.
Well, he did well, I know, in the long track event on the continent 10 days ago in which Kelvin Tatum was competing. Kelvin won it, but Shane Parker qualified for the next stage of the World Championship. And now we're on heat number 5. Shane Parker and Red Ray Morton flew for the home side. Corey and Smith for Bellevue Aces. Picking it up well is Andy Smith. Going round the outside and picking out the power is Ray Morton. Parker not so hot this time, coming down the outside, but big locked out by Parker there was Ronnie Corey, who seemed to hit the fence, and Ronnie Corey is out of this one, and he's looking down at his machinery. It looked to me as if he was taken wide a little bit there, Peter Collins, and he bumped out of that.
Yeah, Ronnie's had his footrest taken off by the safety fence there. He caught it on the kickboard going down the back straight and ripped his footrest totally off.
Footrest gone then, but Andy Smith is out front now, ahead of Ray Morton. This is going to be a 4-2 in favour of the visitors. If we're not, well, it's a 3-all, sorry, with Ronnie Corey out. With the heat leader, Andy Smith, going to take the 3 points. He has a lap and a quarter to go. Back in second place is Ray Morton. Third is Shane Parker. With a lap to go, Andy Smith must have changed something on that machine, going far better than he was last time. Andy Smith for the Bellevue Aces. Down that back straight. He's only got the top 2 bends to go, and he will take the checkered flag. The Grand Prix rider, he'll be in action in Sweden at the weekend. In second place in blue, Ray Morton. Third in red is Shane Parker. That's the lineup then for heat number 6. Gary Stead from Hull goes from the inside. Jason Lyons from Bellevue, gate 2. Joe Screen, the Bellevue captain, goes from gate 3. The Hull captain from gate 3, and Kai Laukkanen goes from the outside in yellow and black. Remember, home team Hull in red and blue. Visitors from Bellevue, white and yellow and black. Starting marshal getting impatient there. There's Jason Lyons. Fast and furious, the Aussie first time out. Can he do it again? Jason Lyons, Lisbon picks it up and goes into the first bend in front. Goes wide though. Can he pick up the grip in blue? Coming through on the inside is Gary Stead, but look at Jason Lyons down the outside, going by Stead as if he's not there. And Joe Screen disappointingly at the back.
Yeah, that was a great corner there from Jason Lyons. He was looking very, very fast in that first ride. Joe Screen doesn't seem to be going as quick now because he's stuck now behind Gary Stead. He's having a great ride in this one after scoring a 0 in his first one. And, of course, Kai Laukkanen also struggling.
The heat at the moment certainly looking good after 2 laps for the visitors. Jason Lyons out front there is fast and furious and set for his second successive heat victory with a lap and a half to go. Pursued by Gary Stead of Hull. Back in third place is Kai Laukkanen of Bellevue, and Joe Screen is trying to get back on terms, and he's in last place and making very little headway as they go into the final lap. There's the last place. That is Kai Laukkanen is in third. That in white is Jason Lyons out front. Jason Lyons is winning it by the proverbial street for Bellevue in white. In second place in blue is Gary Stead. Third in yellow and black is Kai Laukkanen. That's a 4 points to 2 heat advantage. Jimmy Nilsen on the inside for Bellevue. Sam Ermolenko gate 2 for the Hull Vikings. Jason Hawkes goes from gate 3 for the Aces. And on the outside is Paul Thorpe for the Vikings. And coming up to tapes now is the Vikings pairing of Sam Ermolenko in gate 2, and on the outside, Paul Thorpe. What, Peter Collins, will Sam Ermolenko might have changed here?
Well, he's probably changed gear. I know he said he'd got the wrong gear on. He's probably too low geared. He's geared the bike up, and you know, the bike will probably go a bit quicker in this one. But Jimmy Nilsen is next to him on that start position on gate 1, and we know that Jimmy loves to come off the inside, so we'll see what happens now.
Starting marshal waits to move away. The motors roar, the green lights on. Away they go, up goes the Tyson. Lightning from the inside is Jimmy Nilsen, but coming through to track him and pick it up is Sam Ermolenko. A brilliant ride for the American, the 38-year-old, the oldest rider in action here tonight, and he's picked it up with a vengeance out front. Nilsen is pursuing him on the outside. Back in third place is Paul Thorpe. This will be a 4-2 to the Vikings if it stays like this, because tailed off at the rear at the moment is Jason Hawkes. But what a ride by Sam Ermolenko. What he missed out first time out, he certainly picked up second time out, and even time to look back with 2 laps to go. A big lead for the American.
Yeah, Sam certainly means business in this one, Tony. was so determined on that first turn. He probably did have, like Kelvin said, some distractions, but the way he's riding now, this is the normal. This is Sam at his best round hole, and he's absolutely flying in this one. And to overhaul Jimmy Nilsen on that first turn was brilliant.
A lap to go, but at the back, well, they're struggling. There's Jason Hawkes trying to pick it up against Paul Thorpe, and Hawkes making a little bit of progress, but our leader is Sam Ermolenko. What a ride by the former world champion. He takes the glory, he takes the checkered flag ahead of in white. In second place, Paul Thorpe. In third place in blue was Paul Thorpe there. It's Kai Laukkanen from the inside for the Bellevue Aces. Lee Dickin for Hull goes from gate 2. Andy Smith for the Aces goes from gate 3. And Gary Stead from the outside. And on form so far tonight, well, just Bellevue might pull back this lead, a 5-1 for them, and it'd be level, PC.
Yes, that's right. I mean, this could put things all square, and you know, Andy Smith's been absolutely flying. He looked very, very fast. Andy used to ride here at one time.
Well, Ronnie Corrie there and his teammates having a look at all the action. But now the action down at the starting test. We're waiting now for the riders to come up. Starting marshal getting impatient. And the white helmet colours there, Andy Smith. His teammate in yellow, Kai Laukkanen. They'll be looking for a 5-1 for the Aces here, which will then level it at 24 all. But battling for the Hull Vikings are Gary Stead and Lee Dickin, arguably their two least experienced riders. Maybe, just maybe, the Aces have perhaps pulled an ace here in this one. Away they go from the tapes and picking it up well there in the yellow helmet colours is Kai Laukkanen. Andy Smith, tail off at the rear, will come through now and pick up third place. In second place it's Gary Stead, separating the two Bellevue Ace riders. But Kai Laukkanen out front, and now a great ride there from Gary Stead as he tries to come through on the inside. But Laukkanen picks it up again, and good riding by the Finn.
Yeah, Kai Laukkanen used the inside line where Sam Ermolenko used earlier on, but of course the challenge there from Gary Stead was very strong, but now Laukkanen seems to have got a bit of space between him, but Andy Smith is up into third place as well.
With 2 laps to go, out front in the yellow helmet colours, Kai Laukkanen, the reserve replacement. Back in second place behind him in red, that's Gary Stead, but he's extending that lead out front, and there he is, there's the man in red in second place. In white, Andy Smith in third. With a lap to go, if it stays like this, it'll be 4 points to 2 in favour of the Bellevue Aces, giving them their second heat advantage of the night and closing the gap once again to just 2 points as they come round the top bend. In yellow, Laukkanen, impressive. In red, in second place is Gary Stead. Third in white is Andy Smith. That's 4 points to 2 to the visitors. There we go, on the inside and picking it up well is Jason Lyons. Pursued down the outside by Shane Parker. He takes him wide. That allows coming through the inside into third place in yellow, Kai Laukkanen. But at the moment, this will remain a 4-2 in favour of the visitors. But coming through on the inside is Laukkanen to pick up second place. The real battle is in second place, and what a ride again by the young Finn. Back in third place is Shane Parker. Out front is Jason Lyons going for his third successive heat victory. Back in second place now his teammate, and this will change things around because if it finishes like this with 2 laps to go, Bellevue Aces will take the lead.
Yeah, Laukkanen's riding absolutely brilliantly at reserve. You can see that there, the way he went past Shane Parker. I mean, it's a tricky track to ride on tonight, but he did a great job going by him. And of course, now he's up behind his teammate Jason Lyons, who's riding around like a trooper tonight and who's really flying. And, you know, this is going to put Bellevue ahead at this point.
Jason Lyons in the white helmet colours then is going to win this sparring tragic accidents. In second place, Kai Laukkanen. And in third place now in the red helmet colours, there is Shane Parker. But that's a 5 points to 1 victory for the visitors. And now they take the lead. It's 26 Hull Vikings. It's 28 to the Bellevue. Ronnie Corrie, the captain. Well, as captain, I wonder just what he does. He seems to be buzzing around the pits with the enthusiasm that all the Americans have. And my world champion Peter Collins alongside me, just moving back into the thing. What could a captain do, Peter? Ronnie Corrie, he's having an influence.
Well, certainly now the 2 points in front, he'll feel a lot better, and he looks a lot of nervousness on his face. He knows the wind's there for the taking, and I'm sure he's G'd the boys up in this one because, of course, Jimmy Nilsen's not done that well up to now, but of course, if Jimmy can make a good start here, it'll be excellent.
The lineup then now for heat number 10. Joe Screen is the rider in red. He's back at pits. You see him in the distance there. He'll be going for the outside. On the inside is Chris Manchester, who's coming as a reserve replacement here in heat number 10 in place of Jason Hawkes. That will get Manchester's ride out of the way, but still, according to my calculations, Jason Hawkes will have to have a ride. So there is Chris Manchester going in the yellow helmet colours. There's problems back at this. Ronnie Corrie and certainly his Sam Ermolenko and his teammate there, Shane Parker, having a chat about what's going to happen. And problems on the track for Joe Screen there, and he doesn't want that at this stage, PC.
No, he's got some clutch problems here. That's Steve Johnson tightening the springs on his clutch up. His clutch mustn't have been biting hard enough.
Joe Screen now up into action. Number 7 there for the Bellevue Aces. Chris Manchester coming in as a reserve replacement for Jason Hawkes in yellow and black and going to the inside. Chris Manchester yet to gain a race point tonight, but that man there, Joe Screen, will be the key to this one. There in white, that's Jimmy Nilsen. In the blue helmet colours is Gary Stead, and there in yellow and black is the so far unfortunate Chris Manchester of the Aces. We said this was going to be an important heat. And looking at this, well, if Bellevue Aces are going to keep in this match, I think Jimmy Nilsen, Peter, has got to finish in front of Joe Screen.
He has. He's got to make this start. There's no doubt about that, because, of course, if Chris Manchester doesn't score in this one, Jimmy's basically got to cover him by winning this race.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. There's the lineup. We're looking down there on Chris Manchester, the reserve replacement here for Jason Hawkes. Green light goes on. Starting marshal walks away, and away they go. On the inside in blue, it's Gary Stead, but look, Jimmy Nilsen is picking it up. He's forcing Joe Screen wide. He holds Joe Screen up on the fence. A marvellous piece of track occupation there by Jimmy Nilsen with the battle out front. Screen is going to come through on the inside. At the moment, back in third place is Gary Stead. Tailed off as expected at the rear is Chris Manchester. But what a battle out front between those two Grand Prix riders, PC.
Yeah, well, they're both off to Sweden tomorrow for the Swedish Grand Prix on Friday night, and of course this is going to be a big psychological thing here for Jimmy Nilsen, because at this point he's beating Joe Screen, who's trying so hard to get by.
Well, this is absolutely crucial for the Bellevue Aces, and their man Jimmy Nilsen is in front. He's going to get a share of the points if it stays like this with just over a lap to go. Jimmy Nilsen heads Joe Screen. Back in third place is Gary Stead. Stead's putting pressure, but they're going to get second and third, the Hull Vikings. There's no doubt about that. But out front, Jimmy Nilsen must have changed something here, because he's looking mighty impressive to finish, in fact, ahead of in second place in blue. There was Gary Stead. Third was Joe Screen. That is 3 points apiece, the heat score. It's 29 to the Hull Vikings. It's 31 to the Bellevue Aces. Plenty still to race for, and look at Jimmy Nilsen tumbling off. I hope he hasn't hurt himself there with the Grand Prix coming up. He's won the heat, but he's finished up on the deck, and that is tragic for Jimmy Nilsen. I wonder what happened there, PC.
Well, he looks as though he caught the fence or something. He seemed to fall very, very heavily, and he wasn't aware of that. But here we can see this.
Oh, it was Joe Screen ran into him.
Joe Screen caught his hand as he went by, and Jimmy was taken totally unawares then, and down he went on the track. Totally dazed by that.
Well, Jimmy Nilsen will be furious with that, and I think we'll have to see that again, because it looked to me as if Joe Screen ran into him, and I didn't think there was anything between these two like that, Peter.
Well, I said this track looks quite narrow, but it's not that narrow, Tony. I mean, he just seemed to catch his hand as he went by, and down he went. I'm just totally flabbergasted by that one, and so's Jimmy, I'm sure.
Well, it was totally unexpected. He was totally unprepared, and in my view, that was totally unnecessary. I wonder what the lads in the studio, I wonder what Kelvin thinks about this, because really, Kelvin, that was sort of not the thing we quite expect to see after a race, was it?
No, I like Peter, I'm flabbergasted. I don't quite know what was going through Joe's mind at that time. I don't know whether he felt that Jimmy had been a bit hard on him in the first lap. It was a hard first lap, but didn't seem anything untoward.
And Kelvin, let's get the significance of this. This isn't just another elite match happening here. We've got the world number 2 on the ground, about to go to the Swedish Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix.
Sure.
This is monumental in terms of what it could mean to Jimmy.
Sure, he's not going to be, well, he's, you know, it's stunned him. He's absolutely shocked. And at the moment, you can see it's knocked him around. He feels like he's been run over by her. Yeah, feels like it. Here we go. We can see the rerun of the heat. Yeah, I think both of them have made good starts here. Joe looks like he's nearly made it, but Jimmy's just slid underneath him here. I think that Jimmy's running fairly hard here. nothing that hard there.
No question that Joe wouldn't want to be that wide, though, would he?
No. But it didn't knock him off the bike. But I think, again, we'll see that it gets a fairly tight here on this third and fourth corner.
Well, the result stands as it is. Jimmy Nilsen, the winner of that heat. Gary Steed and Joe Screen taking just 1 point.
My only answer to the problem after the race is that Joe felt that he was a bit hard done by in the first corner, but that's racing, you know, and sometimes it is hard, you know.
Joe's not one to mince words ever. He didn't say anything that time. He let his actions do the
No,
talking.
absolutely, but I think slightly unnecessary, unless he genuinely wasn't looking where he was going, but I'm sure Jimmy feels a bit aggrieved.
Well, as you can see, Susie's there, and she's going to have a quick chat with Jimmy Nilsen. Let's find out with Susie. Go to you.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan. Jimmy, what happened?
I think he meant to hurt me. I think he didn't like what I did in the first corner. He doesn't like tough riding. He only works his way, a one-way street, and it's payback time, and next time is a big one. I'm not happy about this.
Have you got a personal history together, you two?
No, we're quite good mates. We ain't anymore. I'll pay back soon, don't worry about it. I'll get him back. But that was the ugliest thing I ever seen in my speed. I've been in speed for 16 years, and that's disgusting.
Do you really think it was deliberate, though?
Of course, there was no way. I mean, he just ran me off, and he just want to hurt me. I want to pay back.
What are you going to do?
I've got no bike now, and I had one bike. All my bike's gone to Sweden, and that's it. I'm going home now. I wish I could do something else, but it's not going to happen today. It's another day tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you said that you had to come from Sweden last night. You've got to go back again tomorrow. You weren't really looking forward to today, were you?
It's hard work. I had a very, very busy week. I've been everywhere, and I got a Swedish GP on Friday. A lot of things organised for my sponsors and stuff, and I've done a lot of riding myself, so I'm burned out, and this is the last thing I needed tonight.
What about the third lap? Just talk us through that.
Well, he was chasing me, and I was just carrying my line. You know, Hull is a very hard track to come from the back, and I was just going inside, and I was on outside for a lap there, and I went back on inside, and he was carrying my line, and it was no ugly thing, but he did the worst thing I ever seen in Speedway. Bloody hell, I can't believe it. We don't mind hard riding, but ugly things I don't like.
It was pretty ugly. Lap 1 looked pretty ugly too, didn't it, Jonathan?
Yeah, it did look pretty ugly, and Joe, you're here in the studio with us. We've just been having Jimmy Nilsen. He is not happy, and tell us about what you feel about it.
Well, I wasn't happy. I didn't really expect to hit him as hard as I did, and I didn't really mean that, to be honest. I just hit him just sort of wobbling, because he did stuff me big time. I thought he did.
But I guess that is Speedway, but let's take a look at it. If we can take a look at it, I think you'll know that it came out harder than perhaps you'd have expected. So the truth of the matter is you didn't really mean to knock him off. Here is the start of the race. Walk us through this. Let me tell me how you see this.
Yeah, but I thought I made the start, and I sort of run wide. Jimmy knows I'm there, and I'm sort of in front of him, and he can see me. He just looks at him. He run me really wide there. You know, no need for that, you know. No. He knows it's slimy on the outside. Yeah. You know, and he knows it's, you know, you get there and you can't go back. You know, you either go. If I wouldn't have been able to hang on to it, I might have gone through the fence. But you know, I did that, and I was a bit annoyed. And after the race, I spent to just catch his elbow, and I caught him. You know, and off he went. Never mind.
Yeah. Maybe you would regret that now.
Yeah, I do. But at the end of the day, you know, he was out of order for stopping me, really. You know, he knew he was bad on the outside there, but you know,
it's one of those awkward things. Obviously, you felt aggrieved in the first corner, but you know that sometimes racing is hard. But I didn't see any real contact there from the angle we were looking at.
No, but he knows how the track is riding. You know, it is very bad on the outside up there. You know, it is very slimy. It is very flat. You know, and he did run me, and he expected me to go either into the fence or stop in a big way.
I've got to interrupt because Jimmy Nilsen has gone to the referee. Let's find out what he's doing now.
I mean, there wasn't even a distance between us. He ran in straight into me, purpose. He meant it, every single bit of it, every single bit. If you want this, then you're going to get harder and harder. And what do you think? He didn't do nothing? Well, what? You know and I know he ran me off the bike. It was purposely done. I mean, bloody hell, I never meant to see anything shit like this is before.
Well, as you see, Jimmy's absolutely furious about this. He really feels that it was absolutely deliberate, so that's why he's on the phone to the referee. Yeah, Jonathan, more controversy.
It wasn't even nice.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about this. I know Joe's just explained this, and this is all going to go down in the Swedish Grand Prix probably, but yeah. I'm with Jimmy on this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel strange actually as a rider and still riding. I feel a little bit sorry for Joe. I think he's made a mistake. I think he feels about it. I think he was angry about the first corner. Your adrenaline's pumping, he was aggrieved that he didn't win that race, and as he's come round after there, he's just sort of just tried to nudge him, and it's just not, it just hasn't quite worked out. What he should have done is he should have been maybe a little bit more mature about it and come in and had a quiet word with him afterwards. Unfortunately, it's been right in front of everybody, and it's an awkward one.
It also sounds as though, you know, Jimmy Nilsen isn't going to get much from the referee either.
No, he's not got a lot of support, but it's happened after the race, and it's really outside the referee's jurisdiction. But certainly Jimmy will remember that, and it may. I hope it doesn't turn out to be nasty, because racing's dangerous enough as it is. But maybe we'll see some highlights of it in the Grand Prix at the weekend.
Well, Sam Ermolenko is about to go out on the track for his next heat, and somebody who knows...
Red helmet colours Sam Ermolenko. We can see the view as Sam Ermolenko looks towards that first corner. He'll need a good start. We'll have to see. We'll watch it with Sam Ermolenko here. He's in the red helmet colours. He goes from the inside. There we see it with Sam Ermolenko to the apex of the bend first. But look, coming through, the Bellevue Aces pairing are there. And Andy Smith has produced a stunner, but back comes Ermolenko to take him wide. And Andy Smith goes into the fence, bounces off it and comes back. We've got some action here now.
Yeah, we saw riders very close to the fence there. Andy Smith did very well to stay on that. It was hard racing from Sam, but fair. Andy stayed on, so now we've got Sam leading the race and Andy Smith second.
If it stays like this, the points will be split. Paul Thorpe again, disappointing for the Hull Vikings, but out front, Sam Ermolenko. In yellow there is Andy Smith in second place. Back in third in white, that is Ronnie Corry, the Aces captain, with just over a lap to go. If it stays like this, the points will be split. But Sam Ermolenko, as we see from that camera, a clear track in front of him, and a heat win surely on the way for Sam Ermolenko here, which would be his second of the night. And remember, well, he's got two more rides he can have yet, but here he goes to take the checkered flag. Sam Ermolenko in second place in yellow, Andy Smith. Third in white is Ronnie Corry. Star quality in this one. Ronnie Corry, the Aces captain, goes from the inside in white. Joe Screen, a former race of course, in red from Hull Vikings. Jason Lyons, the flying Aussie, who's so impressive here tonight. Already heat victories abounding for him. He goes from gate 3. And Sam Ermolenko, a little bit inconsistent, but fast last time out. He goes from the outside. For top right. Oh, we've got a change here. Kai Laukkanen has come in yellow and... Oh no, it's in the next heat. We've been given information that Kai Laukkanen will be coming in place of Chris Banchester, and that could be important in the context here. But in this heat at the moment, this is heat 13. Hull are behind by 35 points to 37. There is Sam Ermolenko going in the blue helmet colours to the outside gate here in this one, heat 13. Starting Martin moves away. From the inside, Ronnie Corry is fast, but picking it up on the inside, and coming through is Joe Screen, and round the outside in blue goes Sam Ermolenko. But somehow Ronnie Corry has kept in front of Screen, but Screen comes through now on the inside. And what a battle here. Now Corry picks it up. It's ding-dong battle in second place. Screen runs out of track and goes wide. Corry picks it up in pursuit of the leader, Sam Ermolenko. If it stays like this, well, it'll be level pegging going into heat number 14. What a meeting we had. Peter Collins, what a race.
Yeah, what a race. And we've even got Jason Lyons at the back, who hadn't dropped a point up until now. But look at Sam. Sam Ermolenko's riding really well. But there, we've got Ronnie Corry holding that second. Joe Screen bouncing off the kickboard of the fence again. Got to be careful he doesn't get sucked into that. But there's Sam Ermolenko with 1 lap to go.
Well, it's back in heat 7 that we had the last heat advantage for the home team. But they're going to get one here, which could be a vital time for this league meeting, because now, despite going wide, Sam Ermolenko is going to take the checkered flag. The wheelie of celebration. Big Marshall moves away. The green light is on and away from the inside. Ray Morton gets a flyer. Laukkanen is pushed wide. Laukkanen will have to come back. Pushing through in third place is Jason Hawkes, but the two Hull Vikings are out front. They're going to take some catching unless they go wide. In blue, it's Paul Thorpe. He's looking inside. We're going to get some team riding here now with a vengeance.
Yeah, they're team riding here, the two Hull boys. Ray Morton now is riding the outside line. When you're team riding, that's the best place to be. Paul Thorpe's riding the inside. They're trying to cover everything, but Laukkanen really is having to go here in the yellow helmet.
Well, Laukkanen is fast and furious, and I'm sure he won't give up. Half the race is gone. Ray Morton is out front. That man there in second place is Paul Thorpe. Look at Laukkanen trying to close the gap down the back straight. The The door is closed on him slightly by Paul Thorpe, but he's got time to come back again. Laukkanen, can he move into second place? He's trying every inch of the track and does. Kai Laukkanen goes through into second place now. Can he make ground on the race leader, Ray Morton? Morton out front. Laukkanen in second place. Paul Thorpe in third. This is going to be a 4-2 in favour of the home side, and the visitors will need a 4-2 in the last to stay in the meeting. Red, yellow, blue, the finishing order. Won by Ray Morton. On the inside, Sam Ermolenko. Next to him in white is Andy Smith. Going from gate 3, Shane Parker. The crowd on tenterhooks. They've enjoyed a really competitive Speedway meeting, what in the end has been super track conditions. Will they be rewarded with a win for their home side? Or will the Aces fans be going back to Manchester tonight with points in the bag? Starting marshal brings them up to tapes. Hull 43, Bellevue 41. Desperately close as we go into the final race of the evening here over 6 laps at Craven Park. Remember, Hull in red and blue helmet colours, Bellevue in white and yellow and black. And away they go, and on the inside, Sam Ermolenko picks it up, pursued on the inside by Andy Smith. A battle joined there. Back in third place is Shane Parker. Parker going through now and putting the pressure on Smith, but if it stays like this, it'll be a home victory. But Sam Ermolenko goes wide, and now trying to come through is Andy Smith. That's 1 lap gone. There's an awful long way to go. 1.5 laps gone. They're sorting themselves out. What we can see there is Jason Lance surprising at the back. Out front, Sam Ermolenko going wide. Peter Collins, if it stays like this, we know that the home side, Hull Vikings, will win it, because a 4-2 would give them a margin of 47-43.
Well, this could be a fantastic match-winning ride here by Sam Ermolenko. I mean, he's so good on the bike, very, very classy tonight. Fantastic rider, and what a brilliant ride if he wins this one now.
He started slowly, Southern Sam, but he's put it all together as the meeting's gone on, and he's found out about this track, used it to his advantage, and certainly from his team's point of view, this is going to be a crucial ride. Once he got going, Sam Ermolenko, 2 laps to go now. Ermolenko in front of Andy Smith. In third place is Shane Parker. Unless something dramatic happens here, the Hull Vikings fans will be celebrating in the Bellevue Aces with just over a lap to go. Look at that, piling into the fence at the back, and taking a tumble there was Jason Lyons. But the referee will stop this one, but I think he has the power to award it, as happened last week, in favour of Sam Ermolenko in front. In second place, Andy Smith, and third, Shane Parker. We'll have to wait for our referee's decision as Jason Lyons piled into the fence. They were not at the time on the last lap, but we wait for the referee's decision as to exactly what will happen here. He has awarded the race to Sam Ermolenko with no time. In white in second place, Andy Smith. Third in blue was Shane Parker. 4 points to 2 to the home side. 47-43.